Have you ever wondered why bad things always seem to happen to the best of us? It's like the universe has a twisted sense of humor or something. It's enough to make even the most optimistic person start to question whether there's any justice in the world. Hey, and welcome to our channel. Today, we'll talk about something that affects us all, the things outside of our control. We often stress over situations we can't change, whether it's a ruined picnic due to rain, or a pandemic disrupting our lives. But it's crucial to accept that some things are just beyond our influence. In this video, we'll explore why it's essential to focus on what we can control instead of dwelling on the uncontrollable. Now, let's shift gears and talk about the importance of accepting things that are out of our control. We've all been in situations where it feels like everything is falling apart and we have no power to change it. But the truth is, some things are simply beyond our reach, and trying to control them will only lead to frustration and disappointment. When you know what's important to you, it's easier to resist the pressure to conform to someone else's views. It's also helpful to surround yourself with people who share your values and who support you in your goals and aspirations. Another thing to keep in mind is that not everyone has your best interests at heart. Some people may try to influence you for their own gain, or to manipulate you in some way. It's important to be aware of these dynamics and to trust your instincts when something doesn't feel right. Ultimately, being easily influenced by others can be a double-edged sword. While it can make you more open to new ideas and experiences, it can also lead you down a path that isn't true to who you are. By being mindful of your own values and setting boundaries with others, you can strike a healthy balance between being open-minded and staying true to yourself. Getting attached to outcomes. Another common tendency that can hold us back from living a fulfilling life is getting attached to outcomes. It's natural to want things to turn out a certain way, whether it's getting a job offer, winning a competition, or having a particular person reciprocate our feelings. However, when we become overly fixated on these outcomes, we can start to feel anxious, frustrated, and even depressed when things don't go as planned. One problem with getting attached to outcomes is that it can blind us to other possibilities. For example, if we're so focused on getting a particular job, we might miss out on opportunities in related fields that could be just as rewarding. Additionally, when we're too attached to a specific outcome, we may struggle to accept failure and move on from disappointment. To combat this tendency, it can be helpful to practice detachment. This doesn't mean we shouldn't care about our goals or work hard to achieve them. Instead, it means cultivating an attitude of acceptance and openness to whatever outcomes may come our way. Now, let's move on to another trait that can affect how we make decisions and interact with others. Being too trusting. Being too trusting can sometimes lead us to make choices that aren't in our best interest. It's important to strike a balance between being open and honest with others and being cautious about who we let into our inner circle. One of the reasons why being too trusting can be problematic is that it can lead you to overlook warning signs or red flags. For example, if someone approaches you with a too good to be true offer or makes promises that seem too easy, your trusting nature might make you overlook the fact that this person isn't acting in your best interest. Additionally, being too trusting can make it difficult for you to set boundaries and say no to others. You may feel like you don't want to offend anyone or hurt their feelings, so you go along with what they want, even if it's not what you truly want or need. To avoid falling into this trap, it's important to be aware of your own boundaries and needs, and to be able to say no when necessary. It's also important to trust your own instincts and intuition, even if others are telling you something different. By being more self-aware and assertive, you can avoid being too trusting and more effectively navigate your relationships and interactions with others. Some things are simply out of our control. As much as we may want to control everything in our lives, there are some things that are simply out of our control. This can be a difficult concept to accept, but it's important to remember that we can't control everything, and that's okay. For example, we can't control the weather or natural disasters. We can take precautions and prepare for them, but ultimately we can't stop them from happening. We also can't control other people's actions or decisions. We can try to influence them, but ultimately it's up to them to make their own choices. It's important to focus on what we can control and let go of what we can't. We can control our own thoughts, feelings, and actions. We can work on improving ourselves, setting goals, and making positive changes in our lives. We can also control how we react to situations that are out of our control. Accepting that some things are out of our control can be liberating. It can help us let go of the stress and anxiety that comes from trying to control everything. Instead, we can focus on what we can control and make the best of every situation. Well, that's all for today. We hope this discussion has shed some light on this complex and often difficult topic. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more thought-provoking content. Also, don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know your thoughts on this topic. Have you ever experienced a difficult situation despite being a good person? We'd love to hear about your experiences and how you've coped with them.